I tested a lot of table saw upgrades, but I've never seen one quite like this. But there's a massive catch. Let's go. Now before we get started, if you'd like to check out this or anything else I show in this video today, there's going to be a link in the description and the pinned comment. And of course, if you're watching on TV, just scan the QR code right there with your phone. You can go to my website, shop this while you watch the video, because I think a lot of people is going to be very impressed by this. I certainly was. Now, Rockler is an iconic name in woodworking, if I say that myself. They are massive in the woodworking world because they come out with some really genius things, and they just released this premium crosscut sled, and I purchased this myself with my own money because when I saw it, I thought, that is awesome. It just looked cool, so I wanted to check it out and see if it could live up to what they were claiming, which is a lot. This thing has a telescoping fence that you can miter up to 50 degrees. This also has a micro adjustable stop block that is genius, and you have clamping capabilities and a whole lot more going on here. But there's a massive catch. On the Rockler website, it specifically says not to use it on a job site saw like this. So naturally, I wanted to see if it would work. And we're also going to compare this to the PowerTech crosscut sled that is slightly less price, and then also one that you could build yourself to see which one fits you in your shop the best. First, we need to unbox this and see what we get. Out of the box, probably one of the most well-packaged tools that I've ever received, like bar none. This thing is packed so well, I don't think you'll have any issues with damage or anything like that in transport. And everything just looks really good. Woo-wee, that is a good looking sled. Man, I'm very excited about this. It's weird what we get excited about when we're older. That's a thing of beauty. It looks better in person than it did online. It caught my eye online. I just thought, man, that thing looks so cool. But in person, it is surprisingly thin, but surprisingly rigid. That is, so far I'm impressed. So I have high expectations on how this will perform. As usual with a lot of Rockler stuff that I've purchased in the past, and I did purchase this, they did not pay me for this at all. This is paid for with my money. The manual's written very well. One of the first things you have to do is adjust this miter bar to your miter slot, and it's very easy to do. You're just going to slide that in there, and then there's an included Allen wrench that you're just going to tighten up those little tension bars, and it adjusts very easily. And you'll notice that there's no side-to-side play once you have it adjusted properly, and you can still smoothly slide it in the slot. Very easy to do, took literally seconds. Now to set the miter bar on the sled properly, you have to measure from the left side of the blade to the left side of your miter slot. Right now mine's setting at right at 6 inches. On my little DeWalt saw, it's about 5.5 inches. Now there's a caveat to the DeWalt saw which we'll cover. Once you get that measurement, we can mount the miter bar to the miter sled using the scale that they provide inside their manual. There are 2 of these flat washers, one on each end, that you're going to take off. These were just to help keep everything nice and level while you're setting the tension. Once you know which hole that you're going to bolt this into, mine is the 3rd hole based on the scale that they give me for my larger saw. If I was going to do it on the DeWalt saw, I would move over 1 hole as indicated again by the scale. But there's 3 included bolts, you're just going to bolt those in, very easy. Now the manual does tell you to put it in the slot and make sure that this cut line or this cut area, this MDF insert here, is going to be cut at the right spot. And if you look at mine and the hole that I have it in, which was indicated by them, it's going to be cutting a little too far that way. I want to move it over that way. So we're going to actually swap these out 1 hole over so that we get a little closer to this line that they have on this insert. And what this is going to do is create a 0 clearance cut line on your sled to the blade that you're using. Yeah, I think that's going to work much better going in the 4th hole versus the 3rd. And you want to do this before you make any cuts, so make sure you have it dialed in exactly where you want it. Now you can see the blade is actually lined up right with that line right there. I think this is a lot better positioning. This varies from saw to saw, so you'll make sure to set this up according to your saw. All right, this does have an extension that you're going to put on there. It's very easy. You're going to slide it right into the slot, tighten up these 2 nuts here. I don't like the wrench that they sent. It's just one of those cheap included wrenches. So I did pick up this little socket set from Klein that has been awesome because it has imperial and metric. And here we're just going to use a 1/2 inch nut driver, and these are impact rated. Now don't use your impact and just like tighten these up as far as they'll go because this is aluminum and you don't want to bend that. But I did use that just to kind of snug it up, then use the included wrench to snug it the rest of the way or just make sure it's really tight. Basically, that's going to give you the extension. Now, one thing I didn't like right out of the box was I saw this little wing nut here on this thing. I was like, all this is so premium. Why would they do that? That was just a placeholder for shipping. You're going to throw that away, but you are going to install a handle. Now, it does show in the manual that you're supposed to have a washer here. I don't see it. Maybe I misplaced it. Maybe it's not included. I don't know. So I went and dug into my little bag of extra parts and pieces, and I have a washer that fits. I don't know what happened to the one that was here. looked on the workbench, I don't see it. Who knows? But we do replace the wing nut with this nice handle that's going to let you slide this to any angle you want and snug it up. Before we get this on the saw and start cutting with it, I noticed that they included an extra insert. You don't see that very often. Typically they want you to just go ahead and buy your other inserts. So I am very glad that this zero clearance insert that goes right here on the edge, they included an extra one. That is super cool. So if you wanted to set this up for 2 saws or 2 different blades or something like that, or just over time you wanted to replace it, you do have a replacement. Thank you, Rockler. That was awesome. All right, so this piece is actually optional. This is the drop-off platform, and I thought if I'm gonna buy the sled, I might as well get the drop-off platform. What that's gonna do is just keep parts and pieces that you're cutting on the same level so they don't just drop after you cut them. Unboxing, same thing, very well packaged. This also comes with an extra insert, which I do appreciate. One little minor quip is one of my magnets was out where the little tool gets held in there by the magnet. Should still work just fine, and I'll just reinsert that with a little CA glue. We'll be good to go. But just so you know, there should be 2 magnets in there, and this one is unattached. All right, so to zero out your sled, all you're gonna do is set it in the miter slot. You're gonna raise your blade up a little bit, and you're gonna make your cut. Just make sure that you're cutting into that replaceable insert there. That'll be zeroed out. And from there, you can square up the sled. So to square it up, very easy. You're just gonna put a square up against your blade and up against the fence, and you can micro adjust this as much as you want and get it dialed in perfectly. You can also use something like the 5-cut method. You can just search 5-cut method table saw, and it'll teach you how to do that. It's pretty easy to do. And you can adjust your fence to dial it in within tens of thousandths of an inch if that's the precision you want, which they will allow you to do with this sled. There's a little screw back here that micro adjusts or pushes the fence out or away from you or closer to you, depending on which way you turn that screw. Mine needed a tiny bit of adjustment according to these squares that I'm using a woodpeckers and then just a machinist square. One thing to be aware of is the teeth on the blade. They stick out a little bit, and so if your square does hit that, then it may throw it off a little bit. So avoid the teeth of the blade. Now this does have a fence that you can move left or right as well. So if you don't want to cut into the fence, you can move it out of the way when you make your cut. I personally wanted mine to have a zero clearance backing on the fence, so I did move it over just slightly and made a cut so that there is a little bit of zero clearance there on the back side. That'll keep tear out from happening on the back side of the cut. Last thing to do on this side is just put in the stop block. Now this stop block is really a hidden gem of the show because of the micro adjustment. When you get it installed here, just a thumb screw up top lets you move it left and right wherever you want it, and you get it close. And then there's a nice fat knob on the front, which I really enjoy, because all you do is reach over and just turn it with your finger, either pushing down or pulling to, and it micro adjusts. And you can see there's 3 points of adjustment here inside of there, so it's pushing it left or right, and it's not going to have any deflection or anything like that. It's a very accurate, and you can dial in exactly where you need your cut. I love this feature. And if you are cutting small parts, you do need a clamp. There is a T-track style clamp that you can install, very easy to install. This is a well-made clamp, and it's not metal, so it's kind of a plastic or composite material, and it's very robust, very well made. But so if you do cut into it with your blade, you don't have to worry about anything. You shouldn't from there, but it is possible to get the long side into the blade if you're not really careful, but if you do, it's not gonna hurt anything. Now, setting up the drop-off sled, I'm really glad that I picked up this drop-off sled for a few reasons. Number one, it's gonna help keep the offcuts from falling, which is not a big deal, but sometimes it can kind of hit the blade and spin back a little bit. But the main reason is it does have a locking bar under there, and you can lock this into position. You're just gonna slide that in with the saw, tighten it down, and it keeps it from moving. What that will allow you to do is there's a little measuring gauge right here on the side that you can use. You're going to bump that on the blade, zero it out, make your mark, and there's a sticky measuring scale that you can stick down in a specific spot here. It's actually hollowed out a little bit so that it remains flush or a little under flush. And then you'll always know where zero is. This goes up to 5 inches before it bottoms out, but you can be able to make repeatable cuts over and over and over just using this little scale, which I think is really cool. And another benefit here, other than just being a measured stop block, it allows you to cut parts and pieces repeatably without it getting jammed up on the fence. So you'd never want to put your fence right here and make a cut, because this piece would get jammed up between the fence and your blade and cause kickback. This gives you a stop block way behind the fence, and so you're going to make that cut. In other words, you would not want to move this forward and use that as a stop block up here close to the blade. It's a good little feature, good little add-on. And they do include the wrench that has the magnets, remember, embedded, so you can loosen this off very easily so that you can move the sled to and fro. I guess it's a good thing those magnets are really strong, but it does make it difficult to get that out of there. I'm not sure if I mentioned, but this is an extendable fence. There's two little rubber knobs. They are rubber grippy knobs. I really like them. They're in the back. You can extend this out, and there is a hard stop, so you don't have to worry about pulling the fence out. And this gives a little platform out here on the end, so if you are cutting longer pieces, you got support all the way to the left, which I absolutely love. And because of the shape and design of this sled, it saves quite a bit of weight. I can imagine if they had built this thing square like a lot of other sleds are, that would add a bunch of different weight. And if you're using this on a smaller saw, it could cause a lot more tipping issues, things like that. But I do like that they have this extension on there, gives you some material support, and then also it can collapse up out of the way when you don't need it. First thing I want to do is try out that extension wing. So I extended that thing out all the way, cut a long piece of plywood here, as you see, good support. Perfectly fine, everything went good. Next, I wanted to see if I could cut perfectly 90 degrees. I have dialed it in, so I want to see. First cut, absolutely perfect. Like, this is a perfect 90 degrees. I even used several different squares, longer squares, just to check and make sure. It don't get much better than that, especially for woodworking. Next, we're going to dial in a 45-degree angle on this big old scale. This scale is very easy to read, big old numbers. That silver with the black lettering is very easy to read, especially for aging eyes where I have to keep glasses around all the time. I don't need them for that. And here's a power tip for you. If you just loosen the knob off, you can move this very easily. If you try to move it with the knob, it becomes difficult. But if you just grab the fence and move it, moves very easily, and then you snug it back up. Whatever angle you want to cut there, we're doing 45 degrees. Perfect 45-degree angle. You just can't get much better than this. Straight out of the box, very minimal setup, easy to use. Now, this thing will also do a few other things. It does have that micro adjustment, stop block, as I talked about. I'm gonna lay a ruler down and let you see how fine-tuned you can get this. So if you're needing to dial in the perfect cut, just rotating this knob, you can see it's micro adjusting. We're talking just minimal adjustment, so you can really get the cut that you're looking for. This also has a clamp that's built in. This is easy to install and remove, so it's not in your way. If you need to move it out of the way they have this design, you can slide it right in. And where this is going to really shine is if you're cutting very tiny parts. You never want to try to cut a very small part like that on a table saw without some type of support and clamping, and that's where this really comes in. You clamp that down, cut this very tiny piece, easy, safe, it's awesome. Now, before we see if it's going to work on a job site or table saw sled, we kind of have to talk about the elephant in the room here, the price. Now, the price on the Rockler is, stay seated, $250, but I think it's worth it. I bought it with my money, and after spending $250 on it, I can see why they're charging that. This is a well-made sled. It's not light, it's not heavy. It just feels well made. It's made out of that 1/2-inch phenolic, let me know how they pronounce that, material, so I don't have to worry about it warping or being in a humid environment, which we're in South Arkansas, so it's always humid here. It has a telescoping fence. It has one of the best micro adjustment stop blocks I have ever used or seen on a sled like this. It just works. It works extremely well. So you can dial in that cut. You have a replaceable insert that they send with it, so you can zero clearance that out to another blade or saw or even replace it later. It also has a replaceable fence, sacrificial fence here that you can replace. And of course you can adjust this miter bar to fit any of your 3/4-inch miter slots. It's just well made. To add the drop-off sled is another additional cost. And so when you add that, it does add up to a significant cost. But do I regret buying that? No, I'm glad I've got it. But it just depends on where you're at in your budget and what you want to buy for your shop, whether this will be worth it for you. Let me know in the comments if you think it's worth it, especially if you get one and test it out. Now, before we see if it's going to work on the job site saw, let's talk about how this compares to the PowerTech sled and one that you could build yourself, which is like, here it is, the one I built. This is called the Safer Crosscut Sled. There's plans available on the website if that fits you better. First off, I think this was kind of in a league of its own because of the design. It's kind of unique. It has a lot of features here. And if you look at the pricing, you look at the PowerTech Crosscut Sled, it comes in at about $175. When I built this crosscut sled with all the parts, pieces, plywood, everything, around $150 is what I had in the sled after all said and done. And I was using like 3/4-inch sanded plywood, which is not the top grade like Baltic birch, but it is a decent grade plywood. The only thing about plywood is over time, if it's not sitting perfectly flat or have a lot of moisture in your shop, it can bow and twist over time, which causes some people issues on homemade sleds. That's where I think this Rockler one can shine because it is made out of 1/2-inch phenolic whatever that is. It's not MDF, it's not plywood, it's not porous, so it's not going to absorb moisture and things like that, so it's not going to change over time. When you get it, it's dead flat and it's going to stay that way for the life of this tool, which is really nice, especially for people working in moist or damp environments. Humid environments, that's the word I was looking for. Where this shines over mine, now I built this, so I'm proud of this. I sold a bunch of plans, people love this sled. It does have a way you can miter cut, but not as easy as something like this or even the PowerTech sled where you just move a knob and move it to whatever degree you want and tighten it down. The way mine works is you have to have an angle finder or a 45 degrees so you can set that up. You can also clamp things down on mine. Mine does have the handles on the back side to help you push through the cut without your hands being in the way, but so does this one, which I really like because that handle is right there, so you can actually use that to push the sled with. I did really like the PowerTech sled, and I still do because it has a nice laminate top on it, but it is an MDF core, so you can't get it wet or damp. You don't want to use it in very, very damp environments. But as far as cut quality and accuracy on the PowerTech sled, it was dead accurate. Same thing with the DIY version. So it really just depends on your style and what you like. Now, one thing where the Rockler shines above all of them is footprint. If you can see it stacked up against my crosscut sled, it is night and day how much less room the Rockler takes up. It is comical how small this thing is compared to mine, which now I'm overthinking. I'm like, why did I make, I could change this a little bit, probably cut a corner off or something, but it is much less room. And then if you move it over and put the drop-off sled on there, if you pick that up, then it's still much smaller than the DIY version you have here. I no longer have the PowerTech sled in front of me, but this is way smaller than that as well because the PowerTech sled is square, and this whole part would have material there. Now, will this sled work on something like this, the job site saw? First off, I know for a fact my sled will not work on that, but I did build a mini crosscut sled a while back. I'll link to that video in the description if you want to go check it out later, where you can build a really small crosscut sled for this saw. Rockler, interestingly enough, also makes a small parts crosscut sled. If you're not cutting a big wide parts, if you're just narrow stock like that, it would work really well for a job site saw. I've used it on this saw specifically, it works well. And so if you need something smaller, I would look at that. I'll link to that in all the places as well, so you can go check that out after the video too. Now, will this little gem fit on there? Now, one of the biggest questions I get about crosscut sleds is, will it fit on job site or contractor style saws? I think it will work with a caveat, and this is the big catch. Now, will it sit on here without falling over? Yes. The PowerTech sled would not do that. You set it on there, it had too much weight to the left because it had a lot more meat out here. And the way this is designed with this kind of scalloped way, it will sit there. However, if you put a little bit of pressure on the left side, you'll see that it will start tipping. So that would be something you would need to be concerned about, or at least keep an eye on. But as far as operating on top, it will do just what it's supposed to. I think the problem will come in is if you're cutting longer stock and you try to extend this out, it will tip on you and you don't want that. So if you have your saw built into a table that has support on the left, this would be perfect for that. But if you don't, then this would be a concern of tipping. So it'd be up to you if you want to use this on a job site or contractor saw. This is a DeWalt 8 1/4 saw, so it does have a much smaller top than say the 10-inch saw. I think the Skil 10-inch would probably hold it okay, but these smaller 8 1/4 saws, probably not, without tipping anyway. Now, Rockler does say on their website, this is not designed to be used on a job site or contractor saw, so keep that in mind as well. Now, the drop-off sled will work just fine on a contractor saw. You just adjust it to meet whatever distance you need there. Now, there's plenty of adjustments. This will work perfectly fine with this if you did get it for your saw, especially if you had enough support to the left, like in-feed, out-feed tables, that sort of thing. Now, if you do pick one of these up, I would be interested to know if you think you're getting your money's worth when you buy something like this. A premium table saw sled that should last you the rest of your life, should you take care of it properly, which just means don't throw it around, drop it, etc. Although, I think you'll be fine if you dropped it. If you have the cash, this is an absolute must buy. I have not seen any other crosscut sled made this well or even this functional with everything that's going on here. I'm absolutely thrilled with this, and I'm not really mad that it cost $250. Do I wish it was lower? Of course, but the PowerTech sled, when I made my video, was $129 on that. Now it's $175. So now we're looking at $75 more to get a better built sled, in my opinion, with a lot more features. I think that's a no-brainer if you can spare that extra $75. Even if you don't pick up the drop-off sled immediately and you get that later on, or even not at all, depending on your preference there, this is a must-buy if it's in your budget and if it fits your saw. And if you like cool tools like I do, hit that subscribe button because more videos are coming. In the meantime, if you want to watch the PowerTech sled review, right there, click in that box, get you the big old virtual fist bump. Hey, I really appreciate you watching a lot. Thank you.